This morning we are concluding this time, this series. And we're excited about what God has been speaking about in this series, and I love it. If you could have been with us last Sunday night, some of you wasn't, that's okay. If you wasn't, let me know. I've been sending the link to the video out that we watched, but talking about one day. One day. We need to start having a one-day mentality. A lot of times we have another day mentality. Some of you woke up this morning and said, oh, it's just going to be another day. Amen. You're not expecting anything. Have you ever just woke up just not expecting anything, man? We'll just see how it goes. Right. We get that hippie complex sometimes. We're like, yeah, man, we're just going to flow, right? My son, Tanner, we're starting to worry about him a little bit because he's starting to love everything. Amen. We were driving down the road the other day and we passed by. There was 3 red trucks in a row, and he looked at us and he says, I love those trucks. And we was going down the road another time, and there was some turkeys that ran out, and my son, Elijah, who spent a lot of time with Brent, yelled, hit them! We can have turkey for dinner. And our son Tanner went, no, don't hit them! I love those turkeys. Starting to wonder, we have hunters on one side and a lover of animals on the other side. There's going to be a clash somewhere. But we go through times and days where we're just saying, this is another day. Some of you came to church and said, this is another Sunday. This is another service. We're going to listen to some songs. We're going to listen to somebody yell at us and spit at us a little bit. And we're going to go home and eat lunch. Some of you have already planned out your day, but you're not expecting God to do something in it. Sometimes we are too organized. Sometimes we think this is the way it should be. This is how it should go. I'll raise my hand 3 times. Some of y'all have already planned how many times you're going to raise your hand. I'll say amen about 6 times. I'll clap 1 time during the service, and then I'll go home and feed my belly, and I'll be all right. But church, I'm expecting God to do something this morning because I have a one-day mentality. I'm expecting, when you have a one day, you expect that even if it doesn't happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow, or it's going to happen the next day, or a year from now, or 2 years from now. We have to expect God to take control and run this city, amen? Are you expecting that one person to show up? Amen. Have you ever prayed about somebody and you thought, man, they're never going to show up, and then one day they did? But you wasn't ready for it? Amen. You wasn't ready at all for it? They just didn't, or they called you and said, hey, I want to go to church, and that was the morning that you were going to call out? I had somebody one time come to church, and they were invited by somebody, and that person didn't come to church. And they said, well, so-and-so invited me, where are they at? And I was like, I don't know. But see, when we're expecting God to do something, we have that one-day mentality, we always show up. We're always there. We always be a part of it. We're always praying. We're always worshiping. We don't care about our feelings. We don't care about what's been going on. We worship God no matter what. This morning, as we conclude this series, as we're saying that God's going to run the city, and I truly believe that, I began looking at these scriptures, and it's one of the most popular scriptures known to man. We say it all the time, but as Christians, I think we become discouraged when we think about what is going on in this world, and we don't understand that God said these things will happen. Amen. Do you realize God already knows who's going to be the president in 2020?
Yes, He does. Amen.
Amen. I know some of y'all, listen, yeah, you're going to vote, and that's what it is, but God already knows. God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But some of us are so worried. I heard this the other day, and I wish we would understand this. If we would, the opposite of worry is worship. What that means is when you stop worrying and start worshiping, you'll forget about what you're worrying about and understand that God's in control of it. So some of us need to stop worrying about what's going on and start doing the things that God has called us to do. I said this earlier in this series. Some of us are gazing up, waiting for God to come back. Listen, I love I Fly Away. I love that song. I love it to death. But some of y'all got that mentality.
That's right.
Y'all already flying. And you forget about everybody else that's on the ground.
Right.
Amen. Some of y'all already preparing your mansion up there. You know where your pictures are going to go. You know where the flowers are going to go. You know all that stuff. And you forget. You're so prepared to go to heaven that you're forgetting about everybody else.
That's right.
And church, listen, I'm ready for God to come back. And I worried about it for a long, long time. I worried about it. This is going to be the day. Well, this is going to be the day. And God began to speak to me and say, stop worrying and stop working. Start going out and reaching those that don't know me. Because, church, there's so many times that we worry about these things that we forget that there's people that are still lost.
Right.
He's called us to this. And this morning I want to look at a couple things. The first thing is this. I want to ask you a question. What is the mission? What is the mission? You see, the dictionary said that a mission is a special task given to a person or a group carried out. Or I like this one. I like this one a little bit better. An objective or a task that somebody believes it is his or her duty to carry out. Amen. If God has given you a mission, then you should believe it's your duty to do it.
Amen.
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 You should believe it's your duty to do it.
That's right. Yes.
He's given you an idea, then run with it. Amen. Run with it. Because God has given it to you. It is your mission. And I love it. Jesus never leads us out there without explaining what he wants us to do. His will. Some of you have been praying for God's will to be done in your life. You know what the first thing you need to do? God's will for your life is for you to be saved.
Amen. Amen. Right.
Some of you are so worried about what you got to do for God instead of worrying about what you need to give God.
That's right.
And that is give your life to him.
That's right. That's right.
Your will for God is for you to live a holy life, to be saved, to give your life over to him. And when you give your life over to him, he gives you a mission. And we just read it, to go out, amen, teaching and baptizing those in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, reaching all nations. How far is your reach? Amen. How far is your reach? Sherry gives me a hard time right now. She thinks it's the funnest game ever to do. And she says, reach out your hand, the broke hand. And she says, now take your pointer finger and touch your thumb. And because she challenges me to it, Brother G, I have to do it. I will sit there for 10 minutes going, trying to reach my pointer finger to my thumb because I want to do it. And you know what? Some of us, if we would get so involved with Christ, he would challenge us to go out that we would say, I've got to do it. I've got to reach. I've got to go farther. I've got to go to places I've never been again. I've got to do this. I've got to call so-and-so. I've got to. But you know what we do a lot of times? We say, well, the pastor is paid to do it. The youth minister needs to do it. But the Bible says that you are called.
Yes, amen.
Not just me. You are called. Which leads us to the second question. Who is the missionaries? Who is the one that goes out? The Bible says that the Christians are the ones that goes out. As a matter of fact, the Bible don't even call them Christians. Christians didn't come until about halfway through Acts. You know what they actually call them? Disciples, amen. You are considered a disciple for Christ.
Amen.
If you look at the definition of disciple, it means follow. Amen.
Amen. That's right.
A follower of Christ.
Right.
Not a leader. Listen, because I know we call you to be leaders here in this church, but you know what? Some of you want to lead Christ. Amen. Some of y'all say, well, Jesus, you come this way. Jesus, I'm having a bad day today. Don't let them sing that song today. Amen. I just don't want to hear it. Jesus, man, can you just show up tomorrow? I don't feel good today. You know when I believe Jesus is going to come back? During the middle of the Super Bowl. I think he's going to come back here in the middle of the Super Bowl. Because you know what? We'll be so busy watching the Super Bowl, we'll forget that he's coming back. We get so involved with all these other things. We're like, Jesus, can you wait about 10 minutes, man? It's the fourth quarter. Can you wait about 10 more minutes? We'll be all right. We'll watch this game, and then we'll go to heaven and praise you. Amen. We try to lead him. But you are a disciple of Christ. And if you're a disciple of Christ, you're a follower of Christ. And if you're a follower of Christ, that means you accept this mission, amen. And that mission is to go out and reach and teach. That mission is to go out and tell others about Jesus. That mission is to go out and let people know that God loves you. I heard testimony after testimony this week of people that came and told me this. I'm ready to tell people what I've gone through. Right. Amen. They understand. We've got to start reaching. I know it's going to be quite a day. We've got to start reaching. I'm glad people reach for me.
Amen.
Amen. I didn't like them at that time. I didn't want to, sometimes I didn't want to hear their story, but they still kept reaching. If you're in a pool and you're drowning, don't you hope somebody reaches? I'm not a good swimmer in the ocean. So I'm hoping there's somebody going to be right there that's going to reach. Because if they're not going to reach, then I'm going to be with you. Amen. If you don't care enough about me to save me, then why would you care enough about me? Why should I care enough about you? And there's so many Christians that are throwing people out because they're not like us. They don't dress like us. They don't act like us. But we're called to be missionaries. But where are we called to be? Look at the third question right here. Go ahead, Brother Preston. Where's the mission field? And I love that. Sister Judy said, it's everywhere. But this, I want to make it more personal. It's where you're at. Where's your mission field? Where you're at. You know that job you hate? God put you there. Amen. You know that family time that you don't like? Y'all, don't act all holy on me. There's some family members you just don't want me around. Just go ahead and say it. You know when you get around those family members, it's going to be like, oh, goodness, what time does I need to go? You know those restaurants that you get annoyed at? I got so mad last night. Sister Courtney put a thing on Facebook and said she went to go see Lion King. And as many of you know, that's my favorite movie in the whole world. But God had it in my heart that that wasn't going to be my mission field at that time. And there was a lot of prayer and a lot of repenting that had to be done because I said, I can't believe she would just leave me out. Some of you can't do the mission because you're scared somebody else is leaving you out.
Right.
And you forget where you're at is where you're supposed to be at. Amen? Where you're at is where you're supposed to be at. Because a lot of us don't understand that God has called us to a place and a time where you're at to spread His gospel, to be the glory for Him. And you never know that one day that you might be in that place, that you might be there. You might say something that will change somebody's life forever. You might say, listen, I know that you think it's a random occurrence. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why God put me in this place. I don't know why God put me in this town. I don't know why God put me in this job. I don't know why God put me in the middle of Walmart while all these crazy people are running around me. But He put you there to give Him the glory and give Him the honor so you might can reach somebody for Him. Amen. Where is the mission field? It's wherever you're at. God has called you to a certain place. He's called you to that place. And when He's called you to that place, it's time to work that place. Amen. We talked about it last week. We got to do more than just pray. We got to work.
Right.
I know, y'all don't want to work on Sundays. We get like the Pharisees, right? We can't do it on the Sabbath. But But you know what? God has called us to work. He's called us not only to pray, but to go into action. So when we know that, how can we do this? How can we become a missionary? How can we fulfill the mission? How can we go into the mission field? And I'm going to give you a couple things. The first one is this. We have to remember the mission at all times.
Amen.
Remember the mission at all times. Because if we don't remember the mission at all times, we forget what's most important. That maybe you're going through a valley at that time because God has put you in a place so you can help minister to somebody that's going to go through that valley also. So remember the mission. Sometimes we go through a valley because of our own choices. But even though it's our own choices, God's going to use our bad choices, our bad judgment to go out and do the things that God has called us to do. So we need to remember the mission that even though as I walk through the valley of shadow of death, He is still with me. He is going to bring me through that. And as I make it through that, I'll be able to let somebody know that's coming behind me through the valley of the shadow of death that, hey, God will still be with you, amen? God is still in that valley. For the 3 Hebrew children that got tossed into the fire for not worshiping a king, God said, listen, I'm going to show up. So next time when somebody gets mad at them for not worshiping, they can look at these 3 and say, even if he doesn't show up, I will worship him. But our God is always with, amen. He's always with us. When Job had his bad day and lost this and lost that and lost this and lost that, you think you had a rough life. Just go read the book of Job.
Right. Amen, brother.
And the reason why he did that, so when you go through your valleys, amen.
Right.
David, the man after God's own heart, made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, but God was still with him. And the reason why is because he remembered the mission that my God is in control, that my God must be glorified, that my God must be preached, my God must be taught, my God must be lifted up. And as he did that, he was known as the man after God's own heart. Remember the mission. Which leads us to the second thing after we remember the mission. Is we got to think of the honor and privilege. Have you ever been asked to do something and you're like, man, that just makes me feel good? It just makes me feel good. Some of us forget that you were called. Amen. Some of you forget. We take for granted the position that we have because we get comfortable with it. But we got to understand it's an honor to be in that position. It's an honor to be a part of a praise team. Amen. You know the reason why, and I hope some of you get this, because you are bringing in an atmosphere of worship to people that have had a rough morning. It's not easy on Sunday morning. Amen. It's not. It's hard on Sunday morning. And you know what? If we get up here in our feelings and we don't really want to worship because the song is not what we know, or because we're going through these things in our lives, and God says, I put you in a position, so you need to think of it as an honor and as a privilege, and get your heart ready before you even get here, and understand that God's going to move through you so somebody far from Christ can hear his message. If you're a Sunday school teacher, take it as an honor and as a privilege. God's called you to it. Not everybody's going to believe what you teach. Some people are going to second guess it. Some people are going to bring up other stuff. But you know what? God put you there. Amen. For an honor and for a privilege to get the gospel. If you're a leader, God's put you there. If you work in the children's department, you might say, all I'm doing is handing out cookies. Well, you know what? Somebody needs to hand out the cookies. Amen. So why don't we do it with the worship? Thank God for this cookie. Praise God for the cream inside of it. Look at that. You must be double portion. There's extra chocolate chunk chips in there. Amen. We take it as an honor and privilege. Last Sunday, you don't know this. Me and my wife got here early last Sunday. And my wife told me, Bobby, I need you to go clean the bathrooms. I'm like, I'm about to preach. cleaning the toilet over there. I was on my hands and knees in my Sunday clothes. And God just hit me. Isn't it an honor to be the pastor and still be able to clean the toilet? Some pastors are locked in their office until it's time to preach, and then they have to come out there with a bodyguard, and then they leave with a bodyguard, and they don't get to know nobody. But at least you get to clean the toilets. Amen. Amen. I almost started singing back there while I was cleaning the toilet. Because I was excited about it now, because I was like, God is giving me an honor and a privilege. And some of you say, well, it's just cleaning toilets. But until you have to go to the bathroom, it's an honor and privilege. It's an honor and privilege for where you've been. It's an honor and privilege to be a missionary for God. It's an honor and privilege to be what God has put you at. The Bible says He's called you and ordained you to bear fruit that will last. He's called you. Which leads us to the next one. We got to train and stay in shape spiritually. Are you ready for the one day? Are you ready for one day? It's funny. Sometimes when I'm out and I tell people, I usually don't lead in this, hey, I'm a pastor. I don't do that. Because when you tell people you're a pastor, a lot of times they put on a mask and won't tell you things. Amen. But sometimes I'll meet people and I don't tell them I'm a pastor. We just be talking and we be chatting. And they be telling me stuff and I'm like, yeah. And then they say, well, what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a pastor. And they're like, uh-oh. But then sometimes I tell them I'm a pastor and, they begin to ask questions. They begin to ask questions. And you know what? If you're not trained up, I'm not saying you got to know everything, but you got to know the gospel. Some of us want to go so deep theology that people get too stuck. Amen. I'm not a mud dogger. Amen. I don't know if y'all are. Where you get those big tires and you run in the mud and all that kind of stuff. I don't like to get dirty, so whatever. But I know you can only go so far before you get stuck. And some of us want to throw so much theological stuff to people that don't know who even Jesus is that they get stuck and they want to run away from it. But church, if you'll just know the gospel that one day that you were created by God and one day there was a sin and because of that sin we were separated from God, but then God wanted us to bring us back together, so He sent His son named Jesus that died for us and 3 days later rose again, so that now we have a free pardon to come back to Him. You know that? That'll get you a long way. You better stay in shape. I gotta think about Tristan. If I get chased by a bear, I'm not going to be ready for it. I can run for a little bit, but I'm going to get out of breath and I'm going to start coughing. I can't even walk down steps. I can imagine trying to run from a bear. And I know there's not a lot of bears up here, but I got to be ready. Amen. Some of you just need to get ready. How do we get ready? We read the Word. How do we get ready? We pray. How do we get ready? We study. How do we get ready? We have to worship not just in church. You got to be prepared. Which leads us to the next thing. After we stay shaped and spiritually, we got to preach with our lives.
Yes, amen.
Now I want to let you know this. Y'all have all been called to be preachers.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Amen. Did you know that?
Amen.
You have all been called to be preachers.
Amen.
And you need to preach it with your life.
Amen.
Because some of us are not preaching with our lives.
Right. Bless Him, Lord. That's right.
Some of us are trying to preach with our mouth, but our life don't. Our life don't even go up to what our mouth says.
It's true, brother.
We gotta preach with our lives. I have bad days too. But you know what? I understand there's people's watching me.
That's right.
People are watching you.
That's right.
You know there's people watchers. Most of you are people watchers, right?
Amen.
You ever seen somebody with a bad attitude? What do you usually do? We watch them, right? We get nosy. I wonder what messed up in their cereal this morning. I wonder what's wrong with them. You don't just be like, I'm gonna mind my own business. If somebody's in a bad attitude, what do you do? A lot of times we look at our kids and say, see, don't act like that. But you know what? You better start preaching it with your life. I love it when people get saved and and they once did this one thing, and they once did this second thing, and then they get saved, and then they accidentally do it again, and then they say, God, forgive me. That's preaching it with your life.
That's right.
And even though you're not perfect, you still can ask for forgiveness.
That's right.
That's what preaching with your life, which leads us to the fifth thing right here. I promise we're coming to the end. We got to pray for opportunities. You got to start praying for opportunities. You better pray yourself up. Because when you start praying for opportunities, God's going to put them there, amen. He's going to put people in front of you. He's going to put things in front of you where you better be ready for it. That's like praying for patience. Don't ever do it because you're going to have to wait. Some of you say, I just wish I could have some patience. And then you go to the McDonald's drive-thru and you got to wait an extra 10 minutes and you're like, I can't believe it! But you just pray for patience, and God's saying, here, I'm trying to get your patience up. Some of you pray, God, just give me an opportunity to minister to my children. And then they come up and ask you about Jesus, and you say, well, I'm busy right now. Amen? God, I wish my coworker would just come to me so I can just let them have the gospel. And they come to you with an issue, and what you do is you sweep that issue up under the rug because it's not your issue, and you just missed your opportunity.
That's right. That's right.
God, I just wish the church was full, and then somebody new comes up and you don't even shake their hand.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
I was telling Travis and Tristan earlier, if you can say a person's name 3 times when you first meet them, a lot of times they feel like you're personally connected with them because you took the time to know their name. And God has given you some opportunities to know somebody, and you know what you do? You forget who they even are. Church, we've got to pray for opportunities, which leads us to the next one. As we pray for opportunities, we've got to be available now.
Amen.
Because when you pray for those opportunities, you got to understand God's going to bring them, and you got to be ready for it. You got to be available at that moment, at that time, and listen, I'm going to let you know, you are probably going to have to prioritize what's important.
That's right. Right.
Just praise you. Amen. Sometimes, as seasoned Christians, we get upset because we feel like people are not spending enough time with us, but we forget some of those people are having to spend time with those that don't know who Jesus
That's
is.
right. Amen.
Well, they're playing favorites. Amen. But sometimes we need to pour a little bit more into this person because this person should already be eased.
That's right, brother.
Amen.
Amen.
Sometimes we need to help this person stand up because this person should be running. But a lot of, I'll never forget, when Tanner started crawling, Elijah would crawl so he could get the same attention that Tanner got. Y'all know what I'm saying? Some of y'all guys that had 2 kids, and one kid would do something, and the older one would go back to the way they used to be, so they could get the same attention that the small one did. And it is sad that we have many Christians that do the same thing. And we can't be available for them because we're so worried about this person.
That's right.
Church, we've got to stop maintaining them. We've got to start multiplying. And the only way we can do that is we've got to be available for those that don't know Jesus Christ.
That's right.
For those that need prayer. Those that need to be changed. And church, I'm trying to let you know, if Jesus is going to run this city, we've got to be available for those that don't know. Which leads us to the last one. We've got to take up our cross daily. Daily, we've got to come to God and say those things that have been trying to hold me back, we've got to take them to the cross. Pick up our cross and go to Calvary. We've got to get rid of ourselves. There's an old song that come out. I'm not going to sing it. But the word says it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. Going back to the heart of worship. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. And some of us will sing that song and sing that song and sing that song. But you know what our life is singing? It's all about me. It's all about me. time to the youth, not this, but I preached this scripture one time to the youth, and it got me thinking, y'all remember those old Mission Impossible episodes? The old ones, and it'd get that. Y'all know I'm talking about that music. And he would read this letter, and the letter would say, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is so-and-so. And then this paper will self-destruct in 10 seconds. And they like throw it out, and like, boom, and it blew up and all that. God's asking you this morning, your mission is to go out, teach, preach with your life, make disciples of all nations, preach everywhere, teach everywhere, be an example everywhere. If you choose to accept this mission, one day, when you step at the pearly gates, God will say, "My good, faithful servant, come on in." And I love it, because God is just awesome and He's amazing. And I don't think we'll worry about this, but the Bible talks about there'll be crowns given out. See, some of y'all thought just good enough to get into heaven. God says, "Listen, I'm even greater. I'm going to give out some crowns." And there'll be jewels that are put in those crowns for those that did what God had called them to do, that followed, that accepted this mission, that went out and did beyond, that went out and preached the gospel with their lives,